What's up, everybody? Welcome to AEW Uncensored. I'm rocking solo today. Alan will be gone for quite a while. Please, before you do anything, like this video, share it, and please subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. So what's up, everybody? Looks like Facebook set up a new way to broadcast, so I had to get used to that just before the show. So I'm sorry I'm a little off here. But what's up, John? John in the chat in YouTube. What's up? Always good to see you, brother. Thank you for joining me. Anybody on Facebook, drop a comment. Love to hear from you. Facebook is kind of new for us. I mean, we've been doing it about 2 months now, but still hope that we get some of you there. John, can you hear me? What the fuck is going on here? I don't know what's going on, man. Says my audio bitrate is no go. So, can you hear me on Facebook? Give me a shout if you can hear me on Facebook. Not sure what's going on here, but let me All right, so you can hear me. That's good. All right. Sorry about that. For some reason my YouTube is showing me that the audio stream is 0, so I don't know what's going on there. I don't this fucking technology shit. I'm not that great at it. I'm good at it, but not that great at it. Now I got an excellent connection. So anyway, I don't know. Maybe there was a delay. So sorry about that. Sorry for the hiccup in the beginning there. So anyway, please like, share, subscribe. Hit the bell, hit the thumb, share it, let your friends know. Anybody in the Facebook chat watching me now, just give me a shout out there. We'd love to hear from you. Of course, John, appreciate it. You always joining me every week. UncensoredAlliance.com, you find everything we do there. We are on Twitter at AEW Uncensored. Email AEW Uncensored Podcast at gmail.com. Facebook, we have a page and a group. Just throw AEW Uncensored Podcast in a search. Like the page, join the group. Third-party podcast applications you can find us on. Also, you can find us on Google Podcasts, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and iTunes. Please write us a review. We want good reviews. I mean, all these fucking... It's amazing that the people that hate you are the ones that write the reviews. The people that watch you and like you, they don't write you reviews and give you good reviews. So we get a lot of listeners to the show. If some of you could give us some reviews, we'd appreciate that, because we don't want our stock to fall in the eyes of someone who just randomly comes across it and won't give it a shot by listening. So give us a 5-star. Also, if you want to join the show and get your opinion across on the prior week's show, give us a shout on Skype. We'll get you on there. Links in the description. We are live every Sunday, 3:05 Eastern Standard Time, United States. So that's when we're live. All right, and I guess I'll just move on from there. I don't know who else might join the chat and YouTube. Usually we got some guys, but summer's been slim pickings. These motherfuckers been dodging us. And they don't check it live. They check it afterwards. But John, you're always here, so appreciate that, brother. All right, so we'll start with Dynamite. I got no miscellaneous. Nothing off the top of my head. Dynamite opens with a fucking banger. Now, I'm gonna see here if I could throw this in. All right, I'm gonna see if I could post this now. I tried to post this earlier. There we go. Now, if you're on Facebook and you're watching, I'm gonna set up a poll. Were you upset with the ending of the Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega match? Let us know. All right, I'm activating that now. This is my first poll that I understand how to fucking activate it. So let us know in the comments, please. All right. So this show opens up with Omega and Danielson. Now, what a fucking match. The the biggest mistake. There were two mistakes in this match that had zero to do with the actual match itself or the wrestlers. They were fucking brilliant. The biggest mistake was Tony Khan not going to TNT. You got, come on, John. Is it? I don't want to hear that's why you're listening to me every week. But shout out to everybody in the Facebook chat. What's up? Give me a shout. Let me know you're there. Drop a yes or no in the poll, please. We appreciate it. The biggest mistake was Tony Khan not going to TNT and say, we need this 30 minutes to be uninterrupted, and maybe do an extra commercial somewhere later in the show. I'm sure you could have fit it in. That was mistake number one. I'll get to mistake number two towards the end of what I'm discussing. Again, this was nothing about the match. The match was fucking brilliant. I know that I do a lot of the I swear to God, every time I see somebody in the Facebook and I say, yo, drop me a comment, or they fucking leave. I don't know. Are you watching, or what the fuck are you doing, man? I don't know. I can't get the Facebook popping like the YouTube. So, but anyway, this match was great. I know I complain about the chops and shit back and forth, but I really liked it in this match. It worked. I mean, Bryan Danielson's chest was purple like after the first 2 or 3 chops. I mean, it was crazy. The match was incredible. Again, that's like the 15th time I'll say it. The pace was great. The work rate was great. The psychology between them was great. And the chops and the kicks were fucking brilliant. They were brutal. Now, okay. I don't know how to rate a match. I mean, I felt like I was geeked up for this match. So maybe it was just because I was geeked up for it. But I felt that during the match, I was just super into it, just super focused on it. And that commercial break kind of took me down. You know what I mean? And it took me a minute or two once it came back to really ramp back up, as the match actually had to ramp back up as well, but to get myself back into it. So that's why I thought the commercial break Tony Khan should have pushed for them to go commercial free the first 30 minutes. I know it was picture in picture or whatever you want to call it, but that's still not the same thing. Now, they mentioned 30-minute time limit before this match started. Right off the bat, you instantly knew it was a 30-minute draw. It was coming to a 30-minute draw, which I'm good with. Like, I really, personally enjoy that. I think it puts drama on the match. It puts drama on the program. Whatever they do down the line, I don't know. But they're, how do I say it? They do the 30-minute time limit. They mentioned something, I guess, at the 15-minute mark that you can't really hear, and then it gets down to, I believe, a minute. Like I thought I heard something around 15 minutes or so. I didn't even hear it. I want to say it was 15 minutes or so. Then they get down to around a minute mark, and you hear something over the loudspeaker, but you can't really hear it through the television. Okay. The other thing is, our boy Eddy, who's a friend of mine and listener of the show, he was at the show. All right. He said he couldn't even hear in the crowd what it was. So he didn't know how, like, what the announcement was. He didn't know how long it was or whatever. So they have a minute left. They get down to a point where I believe Danielson had Omega, I can't remember exactly, but Omega in a lock, or it was vice versa, and the bell just rings. It just rings. Number one, even the bell was kind of hard to hear it ring. So I mean, the crowd was hot as fuck. I mean, of course, that doesn't help, but where they really fucked up, because as soon as the bell rang and the fans kind of all looked confused and they were quiet. And they didn't know how to fucking react to this. So where Tony Khan fucked this up was he should have had a 10-second countdown that came up either on the giant screen or both, actually, the giant screen and someone on the microphone that should have been plugged in to the to the television feed as well, where it was a 10-second countdown. 10, 9, 8. Because at that point, what you're doing is you're not just giving the match isn't just ending on a 30-minute draw. You're bringing the fans in on the draw. You know what I'm saying? You're bringing them in and making them part of the draw, part of the show, part of the drama. And it was almost like the death match was, where the death match at the end, you're waiting for the explosion. I didn't expect a huge explosion, but you literally get sparklers. You know what I mean? So it was the same thing. It was kind of like this big crescendo, only to be deflated right at the end. They just, I don't know. I just felt like you have to bring the fans on that ride for that last 10 seconds to get what you want from the fans, and to have the fans feel a certain way about it instead of just feeling disappointed. You know what I mean? And at least if you had them on board and chanting down 10, 9, 8, 7, at least they're on board and they're part of it, and then they can react to that. But it really just felt like a fucking balloon was let loose and deflated as soon as that match ended. I hate to drag that down because the match itself was fucking great. Big Dub, what's up? Just popping in to say good afternoon. We'll watch later. Already liked the video. Have a great show, Bill. Thank you, brother. As always, Dub, we love you, man. Thanks for popping in real quick. But yeah, so this was my take. I mean, I just felt they really fucked that part up. I mean, John, you're here. What's your feeling on that? I know we're on a little delay, so I'll take your feeling and see what your thought is on that, and I'll move on from what happened. So, I also felt like at the end they had the Bucks and Cole come out to attack Bryan Danielson. I don't know. I didn't hate it, but they kind of used it to bring out Lucha Express and Christian to make the save. And in my opinion, it almost muddies up the match itself. It adds like a little mud to the match. You know, it's just that typical like too many people in the ring bullshit that I can't stand, and too much interference that I can't stand. And it's like the match is over. You know, if Kenny wanted to attack him, fine, that made sense. And then you maybe, I don't know, you get someone else to come out. But to have that many guys out, it was quick, so it wasn't too bad. But it muddies up a great match a little bit. So, I mean, again, not the biggest fan of them adding that at the end as well. So, but like I said, the fucking match was brilliant, laid out brilliant. It was wrestled brilliant. I disliked the commercial. They dropped the ball with the countdown to the time limit draw, and maybe they didn't have to bring all those people in at the end. So, but that's that. So then we move over to CM Punk's promo. Basically, one of the things I took note of was he said it's been a long time for him, and it's been an even longer time since pro wrestling's been in NYC. So that was cool. It's a little shot at WWE, and I don't mind it. I like it. It's they don't consider themselves pro wrestling. They consider themselves, entertainment. So, all right. I felt like at first, like Punk's like, how about that? How do I follow that? He's like, I'm glad I'm not wrestling on later on the card or right after that. And the crowd kind of was dead for it. I don't know if they kind of, again, were still a little deflated in the whole draw thing. But they didn't really I felt like they didn't really cheer, It took a little while took a second for the crowd to really get popping. Back when popping back with his promo. So I don't know if anybody else felt that way. I just felt there was kind of a lull right at the beginning where as soon as he said, try to follow that would be tough, I would think the fans would have went wild because it was a great match. All right, John. So John got back to me here. So John says a countdown clock really was needed. The crowd would have been yelling out those numbers. 100%. I just feel like you're bringing the emotion of the fan into the match as well, and you're giving them something to feel and something to grab onto for that match with the ending that it had. And again, the bell. It was tough to hear the bell. You almost got to you can't just do one. You gotta. As soon as the lock was being held longer, you just keep hitting the bell, hitting the bell, hitting the bell. Like, all right, time to stop, the old wrestling way. So, next up was MJF versus Pillman, Pillman Jr. The sell that MJF did when Pillman slapped him back was great. It was fucking. He slapped him back in retaliation, and the way he sold it was fucking great. Not a bad match. It just didn't really keep my attention. I honestly it didn't really keep my attention. I don't have much interest in Pillman Jr. I don't think he just doesn't grab me. I didn't hate Pillman when I was a kid, but he didn't grab me either. You know what I mean? Even when he became the like when I liked Pillman was when him and Austin were together as the Hollywood Blondes. I love that team. I didn't like Pillman when he started doing the loose cannon gimmick in WCW with the Four Horsemen and stuff. I really was just like, I guess maybe because I grew up with him as such a white meat baby face that it didn't really sell for me. And then of course his ECW stuff, and then into WWF, I didn't really even watch WWF. So I do remember the only thing I do remember watching was the whole gun incident. I did go and watch that when that happened. I watched a video of that. So, but I was never the biggest Pillman fan. I kind of feeling that same way about his son. Maybe down the line he'll click with me, but he's just not. And even though I love MJF, it's not going to click with me if it's, I don't know. They're both not going to draw me in. And one guy's not going to draw me in if I can't really care about the other guy, So, but it wasn't a bad match. Next up, we had a Jager. That's what they should name themselves. Jericho and Jake Hager promo. One of my notes here is, can we please replace Marvez with Renee Paquette? I don't know how to say her last name, but basically Moxley's wife, Renee Young, I guess she was in the WWF. I think she'd be great to do the promos backstage, because Marvez, good lord, I can't stand looking at that guy. Then we get Malachi Black versus Cody. All right. My first note is, Brandy is back. And how did the crowd not boo the shit out of her as soon as they saw her? It seems like she got a little pop. And okay, so speaking of booing, anytime as this match started, anytime Cody got offense, they were booing. The crowd was booing. Then Black gets cheered every time he gets offense. So I found that interesting. I understand it 100% wholeheartedly because uh-oh. Let me see here. I'm getting fucking called in. Hold on. Eddie, that's you? Hold on, watch. I'm going to add Eddie to the show because Eddie was in the house. So we're going to get a little insight to the live show here. Let me add Eddie. Eddie said he might pop on if he could. He should have just texted me, you son of a bitch. You're interrupting the show. All right, let's see. Let's wait for Eddie to get on.
Yo.
What's
going on?
What's up? Let me put my headphones on.
Are you on already?
Yeah. You fucking interrupted.
Oh,
man.
I'm sorry.
Nah, it's all good. I'm destroying the fucking room right now, but all right. So Eddie popped on. He said he might pop on, so here he is. You called in the middle of the show, man. You fucking jumping in here.
See? Yeah, I'm doing the run-in.
Some heel shit right now. So Eddie was at the show in New York this past week. He saw the taping of Dark, Dynamite, and Rampage. What was it, like 5 hours? Plus you were there.
It was like,
at what time did you get there? Like 3:30, 4 o'clock?
Yeah, it was like,
yeah.
I left work. We went straight. So yeah, we were there by like 4 o'clock. By the time we got to the stadium, they opened the doors, I think, 4:30. They were supposed to only open at 5, but I think they opened it a little bit earlier. We cut in the line because we got special parking, and we cut in the line. We didn't even show our. I told my buddy, I was like, we didn't even show our vaccination records. So we ended up not doing anything. We go in, and then, dude, it just was madness. Like, it was so many people. The line to the merch was like you couldn't even see the end of it. Yeah, really? It was just insane. And then anywhere that had food it was insane. I'm sure there's more people there at the U.S. Open, but to me it felt like, or either they didn't have enough staff, or
right.
My buddy asked for like a pepperoni pizza, like in between shows, like a Rampage and Dynamite, and we were like there 20 minutes because the woman just wouldn't serve anybody else until she got her pepperoni pizza for it.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Yeah, but it was 6 hours of wrestling. Oh, it's too much.
It's long. And I know you're an early rise guy, so you were you said you got home by like what, 2?
Yeah, it was like a little past 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
I was up by 6 again. 6.
I know. You text me the next morning. I said, "What the fuck is this guy doing up?"
Oh, dude, it was brutal. I'm still paying for it.
Yeah. I know. I saw you earlier. You were saying that. So, all right. So with the show, now I told him I had mentioned the countdown. You said in the arena you really didn't know what they were saying during the announcements, right?
Yeah, I heard I only heard Justin Roberts, like it's like he would mumble something, and right. I guess then at that point when I started looking into it, like I realized that he mumbled 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or something like that, and then he mumbled again like another time. But in the arena we had no perception of how much time. And then I looked at the bell girl, and then at that point I see her grabbing the hammer. And everybody was like, "Look, she's going to call the match. She's going to call the match," because we were right behind them. We were on the camera side. So at that point, when I see her with the hammer, I was like, "Okay, they're going to tie," because in the arena we had no perception of time limit.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So it's the same way on TV. It came off the same way on TV. So, now.
Go ahead.
Now, okay, we'll stay with Dynamite. Who got the biggest pop on Dynamite that you can recall?
I'm thinking Brian got a huge pop. The beginning of the match when they were just facing off, it was chills. Like it was like you were witnessing something special between both of them, and that's why Brian kind of stopped and he started looking around at Omega too, because. If you were there, you just felt like I got chills just looking at them, and the crowd was going crazy. It was it was just insane. So Brian got a huge pop. It was funny because Omega got like a pop, and then everybody started booing him.
Right.
Strange. I was I guess I was one of the few guys that was rooting for Omega in the arena.
Yeah.
And Punk got a huge pop.
When he can't. Now, did you feel like I just said this on TV? It felt like. When Punk first came out, it was a little flat because he said to the crowd, he's like, I would hate to have to follow that.
Exactly, and I think
and it felt like the crowd kind of was like flat.
Yeah,
were they flat at first?
You were on such a high after that match because, of course, like I was at the arena, I was like, I wonder where they cut into commercials in this match. To me, it like everything was so important that it felt like it should not even be cut. And then I saw when you were texting, it was like, oh, they went to commercial. And I was like, oh, they cut to commercial.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, it would be very hard to keep the crowd going like that. It would be very hard.
Do you think initially do you think because of the way it ended and then not really understanding because they didn't have, say, a countdown that kind of deflated
Yeah,
them?
because I see some people started like kind of booing the tie. And I was like, look, like if you looked at everything, like guys behind us and all, they started booing. I was like, if you looked like Justin Roberts, the moment he starts counting down, it's for a reason. You understand?
Right.
Like they wouldn't count down if they weren't looking into going the full 30.
Right.
So, and then if you looked at the girl with the hammer, you would see that they were just waiting to end it high.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think they should have definitely put a 10 count up on the board. They should have. Yeah. I think that would have been a big difference for the show. Yeah. Now, okay, let me think who else. Oh man, anybody else that you could say? How was MJF? Did he get crazy?
Yeah,
heat?
He got a lot of heat. He probably was the guy that got the most heat. It was him.
Okay.
Really, almost no reaction for Pillman Jr. He was
yeah. I saw
proud. People were like, I don't think they were not very interested in him. Who else? Britt Baker got a huge pop.
How about Darby and Sting?
Yes. Darby got probably a bigger pop. I hate to say this to you, but he probably got Sting. He got a bigger pop than Sting.
2 buns over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So all right.
Yeah. But I was surprised that Darby got such a big pop that Darby got. No.
Yeah, I he's definitely one of the popular guys that gets those crowd reactions. Let me ask you, since I don't want to hold you up all day, but we'll skip over to Rampage here. How did you feel with the Lambert and American Top Team? How did the crowd kind of react to that? Did it feel flat to you? Did you have interest in it? Or?
Yeah, when first of all, I was surprised that Jericho and Hager lost. But I guess everybody was like caught by surprise. But at that point, like it felt like every face was winning. So it was good to have because after that 20 hours of wrestling, you want like a heel to win.
You gotta have heels winning. It's all about the dramatics.
I guess
and the
he
emotion.
was expecting Jericho to lose, and then when they lost, everybody was surprised. And then when guys started coming in, there was a huge pop for Masvidal. When they saw him going through the crowd, like there was a huge pop and him jumping the barriers and all that. Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, there was reaction to it. There was reaction to it. Yeah.
But when he got the knee.
I'm sorry. Everybody was expecting more, like the Jericho's buddies to come in and help him.
I want to talk about that. It was like, okay, the match before you had was it the match before? Let me see. Yes, you just had Santana and Ortiz the match prior.
Yeah.
Right, and then Sammy Guevara is out there later with cue cards. So Jericho sandwiched by his inner circle members, but they're nowhere to be found. It made no sense to me. It's shit booking. It's like you should have thought about this beforehand. This should have been played out before.
First of all, my buddy's a big Sammy fan, so when he saw him, he was all happy that he was there because that was unexpected. And Santana Ortiz, that was also it didn't make sense. That's why people were waiting for them to come out, and nobody came out. They're like, okay, guess they're just getting beat up.
It made zero sense to me. Okay, I just read something that Jericho said he wanted to disband the Inner Circle, and Tony Khan denied him that. He said, no, you guys can all go and do your own things. But my whole point is, if you're going to have a tight-knit group like that, they can be off doing their own things. But when, your leader gets attacked...
When one of your own gets attacked, they should come in and...
you're nowhere to be found.
Yes.
I get that you want to be able to bring Masvidal in, take the time, have Paige Van Zant punch a shit out of him, and such. But I don't understand that. I don't understand how you don't. I just don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand
Yeah,
how you don't
especially
have
if
them come
the
in.
segment is in between those two. It's like it does
Right.
not make sense. So let me just tell you, like Tony Khan was on fire. Like he was constantly coming out in between shows and all that. Before everything started, he was like, you could see they put a lot of money into that. They put into the ring, the entrance, the walkway. How they got off of it made absolutely no sense because whenever the match would end, nobody knew where to go. It was like didn't make sense. But you could see they put a lot of money into production, which it felt like basically like a pay-per-view. It felt like one big pay-per-view, and that was it. And he came out in the beginning of the show, and he was like pumped up, and then it came out in between the two shows, Dynamite and Rampage, and then I didn't know he had something with Max.
Max.
Yeah. So then he brought some rapper out. Nobody knew who the rapper was.
Yeah, I didn't even look it up. Honestly, I should have looked it up.
It's like Lil something. He said, "Oh man, he's really big. He has a lot of big following and all that." So I thought the guy was gonna drop some lines against Max Caster. Like Tony Khan started rapping. Like I mean, like the guy just came out just to show face, but it made no sense. But he was on fire. Like he constantly was coming out. And he was at one point he was apologizing to us. So I'm sorry. And then because then one of the lines was he's suspending them for 30 more days. And then he came out. He's like, I'm not suspending them again, okay, guys. He's like, and then he walked back in. But
that's funny. All right, let me go back to let me go back to where I was, and we'll talk about it a little bit because I was on the Cody Malachi Black match when you jumped in. The crowd was pretty interesting here, where they booed. Hold on, real quick. How long? John asked, how long does it take in between shows to change out the barricade graphics and the mat graphics? How long do you think?
That took longer than I actually thought, because I thought because they had the Rampage mat underneath the Dynamite.
Oh, okay.
They just undid the mat, they ripped it up, and then they had the Rampage. So then they just had to put the skirts on. And the barriers, I guess, I saw some guys coming out with the covers. They just changed the covers. That was pretty fast. But I would say like 10, 15 minutes, probably everything. Because then I was like, when they started taking, because they took they took the mat, the Dynamite mat, then had like plastic one underneath. They took, and then they had another mat underneath, and then only after was the Dynamite. I was like, damn, that was a lot of padding they had before, and now they're. But yeah, it was 15 minutes probably the whole thing, because a lot of people just ran in and they just swung out.
Okay. Now in the arena, you had Cody getting booed every time he got some offense. I mean, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was funny them turning, because in the beginning it's like everybody was cheering on him, but then as the match went, they wanted Malachi to win. So it was weird, because I always wanted, I didn't want Cody to win. I wanted him to lose. So I was always rooting for Malachi. But like, it was interesting. Like, even when Brandy came in, like, they were cheering her, and then she got the biggest pop when she sat down in front of Malachi and she stuck her middle fingers up in his face. Yeah. And then the biggest pop was when Arn Anderson just was going around the ring post and got stuck.
Yeah, I saw it coming when he started going around.
Everybody cracked up with that, because he just let himself fall, and that was a big fall for an old man.
Oh yeah. I saw it coming. I saw as soon as he was going around, I said, he's gonna fucking fall, man. I just man, I felt bad.
That was the best. But it was interesting, because and then he had to set himself up for the bump to be blamed for the loss. And then it took a while for him to get back up on the apron and all that. But it was interesting, because I guess people are just tired of Cody. I really don't know. Like, they're tired of him just coming in, and basically he was been a part-timer at this point. So I guess now a lot of people are just pissed at that. I don't
know. In this match, there was a spot where he tries to pin Malachi, and they counted it, but literally Malachi's head was the only thing touching the canvas.
I remember that.
Malachi's shoulders were on Cody's thighs.
Like, even I was at the ring, I was like, why is he counting? Like, why is he counting on that? Because his shoulders are not down.
It made no fucking sense to me. Dude,
sometimes the referees are a little off, and I think they were off on that because
these little things fucking annoy me. And the refs just
I remember his head was in between his legs. His shoulders weren't down. And I was like,
yeah, exactly.
Is he doing a count? And I was like, how is he doing a count on that? Because, like, I actually pointed out to my buddy. I was like, how is he doing it? He's like, I don't know. It was like his shoulders are not down. I was like,
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that drove me crazy.
Yeah, I remember that.
Really
it made no sense at all.
Yeah. Now, when they're doing promos backstage, do you see them on the screen?
No.
Really? So you didn't see the Sammy promo after that?
No.
Between the Sting Darby and Black and Cody match?
Oh. It's funny because there was some that they showed, but others, no, the screen would just go into the logo, and then the match, the next match will start, and it would be like... And sometimes, like, I just think that the screens were so big above the ring, you would get caught, and I had good seats, but you would get caught looking at the screen instead of looking
versus the ring.
So then I was like thinking to myself, if I'm looking at a screen, why am I here? So I just focus on the ring. It was crazy because they were huge, and then just catch your attention. It's just normal.
Right. Yeah. Like, why am I here? I could be at home just watching it on TV.
I know, right? It'd save a couple $100.
For real. End time and sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I mean, excuse me. Next up, we had Sting and Darby versus FTR. What a match, man. I mean, Sting looked rejuvenated. I mean, he looked like rejuvenated in other matches as well, but here he just still looks rejuvenated and good to go. He's just doing so much good shit in the matches. Obviously, FTR's professional, feeding him well. He's obviously fucking a vet, so he knows how to do things and get the most out of what he can do at his age. And I just thought it was great. I love the ending where Darby hit the coffin drop on Cash on the outside because he was trying to assist Dax in getting out of his Scorpion Deathlock. And at first I was like, man, Sting's putting on a lazy Scorpion, but then you got Cash helping him, so it's almost like, okay, well, he can't lock it in because he's helping him. And as soon as Darby hit the coffin drop, Sting really sat back and cinched on it. And I thought that was good because, in his age, he's gotten lazy with it. But lately, he's been really focusing on not having it look lazy in the ring. And that was good to see.
Yeah, well, it was a good match. And you just got to give it to both all four guys because they were really good. Even FTR, I know they've been like losing a lot and all that, but what they do it really well. Like
100%.
Yes, they do everything really well. Even if they're putting guys over and all that, they're really professional about it because they really know what they're doing. It just sucks because they have like no, they don't have that it thing. Get it? Like they can't, but they're really good tag team.
Yeah, I think they have they have what I like. The 80s, 90s, early 80s, late 80s, early 90s, or even like mid 80s, early 90s tag team. Like those hard nosed guys, like Tully and Arn. They model themselves after them. I like it. I think what's his name? I think Dax is better in general, talking in the ring. But I like them both. I think they're
but people.
I like their
people
style.
Nowadays want the flip flop. They don't want the rough and rugged.
Yeah. That's unfortunately a drawback.
Yeah, exactly because they're not going to do that.
Yeah, the bullshit indie stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, but. I like it. I thought they did a great job.
It was a good match.
And then the main event was.
Don't even get me going on that. It made no sense that being the main event. easily close with Sting and Darby, or at least when they opened with Bryan and Omega. That was like everybody thought that was going to be the closer.
Yeah, AEW's been doing that lately. I don't know if they're just trying to keep people's attention or what.
Yeah.
But they've really been doing that where they start to show off what you would think would be the main event. You know?
It was fun.
Now,
going back a little bit when Taz was doing the promo with Punk. And he said, tomorrow. He didn't say tomorrow. Like, get it? Because they were trying to play it that it was going to be tomorrow on Rampage. He actually said, in a little bit, you're going to be facing Hobbs. And he's like, tomorrow. He, like, corrected himself. I don't know about that. I don't know if you caught it on, there was a promo, and he's like, tomorrow.
No, I didn't. Yeah. Like, a lot of times I don't pay attention too closely to the announcers and stuff. So.
But yeah, it was a surprising ending because I wasn't expecting that match at the end, which I think a lot of people I lost interest at that point.
Right. Okay, so while I know I thought it was shockingly a good match between the two.
I felt it sloppy when I was watching it live.
Did you? Yeah, I mean, there was one move that really I felt like Ruby Soho took a nasty shot. If I should rewatch it, but it looked like she landed on her head. When Britt went up.
Yes, I thought Britt Baker killed her at that point. We were in the arena, and later on when you talk about Rampage, that was the reaction. Everybody's like, they weren't expecting to get up from it because it looked bad the way she.
Yeah, she had her up on her back. She had her legs on the left side. She was like a backpack on her, and she had her head tucked in her arm. And she came. I forget what the move's called. She came off the top rope, and it's basically like spiking her head. But she really did spike her head. It looked like. I mean, Soho has those gauged earrings. One of them fucking flew out of her ear.
Didn't notice that one.
Yeah, she hit so hard. I mean, it went boop, and it just rolled around the ring for a
I know
second.
live it looked bad. Everybody was.
Yeah. Listen, to me, the match was way better than expected. I didn't like how at the end it felt like there needed to be. I felt like there was like 7 moves, just that were. Listen, I'm just throwing out a number, but it just felt like there was so many moves at the end that were like finishable moves that they had to do before they finally got the finish. It's like you're kicking out too much on these high impact moves. You need to kind of. It can't go all out and have fucking 700 high impact moves and no fucking pins and all these kickouts. You know. Yeah, and again, I'm not the biggest fan of the ending here. I felt it was a little rushed. I guess time limit. But if you're not doing all these crazy high impact moves for kickouts, maybe you could have planned a little bit to have the match end in a.
The first kick out she had actually after that move, I actually thought she was not going to kick out. I thought that was it, and she barely out of it, and I was like, oh man, that doesn't look good.
That's what you would hope and expect.
Yeah, I see all the commotion around the ring that they don't show on TV because you see the doctors and all that kind of moving themselves to see if she's good or not.
Yeah.
And you're looking at that, and when you see all that movement, and you're like, oh man, she's probably is really hurt. And then she barely kicked out. Yeah. I think almost at 3, and you thought at that point she was really hurt.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I feel like
I feel like if you really can't wrestle on the ground, don't take it to the ropes. Get it? Because now you're risking somebody getting hurt. So if you really can grasp the ground wrestling, don't put people on top ropes and try to flip them because somebody's going to get hurt.
Right. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, I felt like for me it's like way too much. I don't know if WWE's like this, but in AEW, way too many instances of that where the fucking like the medical people are running around and trying to see if people are okay, because I don't remember there being this many mishaps back in the day. You know,
when I was watching it, like I remember like when I used to watch WWE, and I still watch it, like when they would sit somebody on the top rope, like it felt like everybody knew how to do like a suplex off the top rope. A lot of people used to do it, and it became like normal to do it. And I feel nowadays like nobody knows how to do it. Like when they sit somebody on the top rope, they struggle to like get the hook in, put the feet right. It's like like a couple years ago, this was such a normal move, and now it's like I don't know.
I will say this about that. This is something I have noticed myself. Like you said, it's taking them a lot of time to set up something like a superplex or a top rope move. But I will say that I feel the pads now are giant. They're fucking enormous. And I think it takes up so much space in that. Right. They can't set their feet up well and this and that. And I think that's one of the issues that they have with that. So
it's possible. What about that?
Now, let's get into Rampage. So Rampage starts off with Punk versus Hobbs. I remember saying that Hobbs could be a lifelong babyface, in my opinion. That was like something I said way back on the podcast. And boy, do I have to take that back, because I think Hobbs plays a fucking great heel. He really plays a great heel. He plays it up. He works the crowd, and it all just comes across so great. So
yeah, I like how he's like the typical big muscle man, bad guy.
Yeah,
that he just wants to beat you up. That's it. Like he's the guy that's stronger than you. He's bigger than you. And he's going to, like, embarrass you. He's going to try to beat you up, like, with just brute force. That's it.
Yeah. He definitely needs some more work in the ring, because his timing and smoothness is off a bit. But he's definitely got it. You know, he's got that it thing. And I think the more reps he gets, the more he gets in there and polishes up with people, it'll get better. Because there are little things that you see when he's wrestling. I can't call him off, but you know, a lot of times, like when I watch a match and I see a guy kind of sideways instead of facing a wrestler when they should be facing him, and they're kind of sideways, and like little things like that. You know, your body positioning is off from where it should be. He does things like that, you know. But he's a fucking he's definitely a star in the making.
I wasn't expecting much from him, but he surprised me, and he was way above what I was expecting from that match.
Now, for you, you said this was your match of this part for the Rampage.
Yeah, I think. But again, like with the Hurricane of CM Punk, yes. I think like Punk barely like was able to finish the match. And that's why, like, he hit him on the chest at the end, because he spiked his head on the ground. And when you look at him, he had I felt like he was glassy-eyed, and he was just going through the motions at that point. I could be wrong. I know like we were talking about like earlier.
Yeah. He
was cut and he was getting stitched and all that. But I think it was to me it was the best match, because then the rest of the show was four-man tag team, 3-man tag.
Right.
Like 20-man tag team. It was like, holy cow. Like, how many people are they going to try to stick in Rampage, like, give them TV time? It's fine that you don't give your roster, like, everybody in the roster some TV time every week. But
yeah, I felt that. I know you felt that he might have been knocked a little bit, but on TV, it came across like he had his wits about him. It took a second, but I thought he had his wits about him a couple seconds later. I think what you might have saw was you saw I didn't see. I looked at his Instagram. I couldn't see. You said he got stitched on the side of his nose.
It was like on the. Yeah, it was on.
Like right there.
Yeah, like right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was bleeding. He was bleeding pretty good. But then it's like I told you again. You see the commotion of the doctors, them putting on the rubber gloves, like them ducking under the ring. Not to be on camera and all that. So you see all that after that move.
Right.
So you think that he really, and then you see him barely like being able to like, felt like he couldn't like get his footing right the next like 10 to 20 seconds. His body was like a little like, it was like spaghetti. Like it didn't feel like he was actually like, so then you see all the commotion. You're like, oh crap, is the match really going to get to the end? That's what everybody thought, that probably was not going to end because of that. But he probably played it off good. I haven't watched it again. So
yeah, I thought that I thought that since he had the cut near his nose, that's where it looked like he was cut. I have a feeling he face planted when that happened, face first, and he had the glassy eye look, possibly because he had hit his nose area. You know, you get hit in the nose.
Yeah, that's
you get the, you tear up a little bit, and I'm wondering if his teeth punctured through in that area when he hit. I'm guessing that's how he got the cut, because I don't know how you would really get cut in that.
Yeah, only if you slam your nose hard enough that you're able to cut it.
Right.
Because I think on Instagram he was smiling and his teeth were fine. So just probably slammed his nose straight. I thought he probably could have broken his nose at that point. Oh.
Yeah, he that's how I thought he might have broken.
Yeah, but to me that was the best match also from Rampage. Yeah.
Okay. Now, did you see the Bucks? They always do the whole new bio thing. And they have a new bio that says what is it? It's we should be the trios tags or something like that. We should be the trio champs, or bring on the trio titles or something like that.
Isn't there talks that they're bringing the trio?
Yeah, and I've been fucking aggravated with all that shit. It's like I just don't want nothing to do with a fucking trios match.
Well,
yeah, I don't
Adam
know.
Cole is pretty hot right now because everybody was going crazy for him.
Yeah, how was his pop?
Yeah, his pop was good, especially when they brought the Young Bucks first. Everybody was booing him, and then when they brought him, he got it. Even though he's supposed to be also a bad guy, he got a huge pop.
Right.
Because I don't know none of his moves when he goes on the ring and does all his movements and go boom. Like, I don't know all that, but everybody was into it.
Yeah, I didn't understand all that either. But what the fuck did I watch? And I think someone. Oh, I saw a clip of a guy mimicking it, a teacher.
Oh yeah.
And he was doing it, and he's like, boom, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it, like, because I can't really hear the music. Yeah. So then when he boom, and then he did the Adam Cole, baby, and yeah, so that's where I kind of got knowledge of that, from watching that clip of that teacher doing it. So, yeah, so next up was that match, right? I believe that. Okay, well, they had Jade, Nyla, and Rosa doing promos. Interesting to see. It's like a possible three-way feud. Then that match came up. Super Click versus Lucha Express and Christian. I love fucking Christian.
Probably the only one.
Shit.
The boy got a huge pop. Jurassic Express the first time.
Yeah, I assumed he would. I mean, he really.
At this point, it feels like he should probably just part ways a little bit and try to get away from that. Marco Stunt and Luchasaurus and all that. And Christian, because I was thinking like when they were wrestling, him against Adam Cole would be like a great feud.
Yeah, he needs to go solo. He really does. He just really fucking does.
Yeah, but
I don't know why they haven't.
What's the guy with the spray? God, I can't remember his name now.
The spray.
The guy that comes out with the Young Bucks and he does their recording.
Oh, Brandon
Cutler, dude. He was a special show outside of the match. If you just look what he was doing, because every time somebody would tag out. They would go like, spray my back, and he's like spraying. Oh, my neck, He's like spraining their neck. Dude, it was so funny. Like the way he's like his own persona on the outside of the ring. And then there's like, you could see him recording stuff and all that. It was pretty funny. And Don is, dude, I was cranking up with him because he's just another show on the outside.
Yeah, you were saying he's pretty
active. He was like all over the ring,
active,
like
right.
getting into fans' faces, talking crap to the fans, like threatening fans and like stuff. Oh, dude, it was funny. That's why like sometimes like you don't like at one point I really didn't feel like going, but then you see
right,
like because when you see it's just like a sports event. When you see something to see where the ball is, you don't see everything else. And when you go to a live show, you see like everything around it, and it's more entertaining at that point.
Yeah, it's that's what. Yeah, I mean that's what I like. That's what makes Callis so damn good too, And people that hate Cutler, but I kind of like Cutler, man. I don't love everything he's done, his gimmick that he had with the dragon and all, but I think the guy could wrestle and he's good in those roles where he's been in so far. So
yeah.
One of my favorite parts of this match was Adam Cole leading Jungle Boy outside into that double super kick by the Bucks. I really liked that. It was like perfect timing. It was great, a great play on the use of the tag team, and the match itself was wild, but it was well done. And I gotta give Luchasaurus props. He was on today. He looked pretty sharp, to where he's usually not that sharp. So.
Yeah, no, there was one point. I don't know if it was towards the end or that he took a little bit to come into the ring and to attack the corner. And I was like, I was telling my buddy Jose, I was like, listen, Luchasaurus fell asleep over there. He's like, it's a little bit, but then after that he was pretty good. Like,
yeah. Then we had Ethan and Sky versus Jericho and Hager. This was a solid match. Lambert trips up Hager, and that gives Ethan and Sky the win. So Hager's there to take the pin. Jake and Jericho grabbed Lambert, and they're going to attack him in the ring. Then you get, like we spoke about, the ATT guys come in. They surround them. Masvidal comes in, gets that pop that you talked about, and hits him with the knee. The knee is an homage to the knee he gave Ben Askren in their fight. So that was pretty cool, man. It was perfect, too, because that knee fits perfectly in professional wrestling. You know what I mean? It transitioned great from an MMA actual fight into pro wrestling and using it as something. I'm wondering if Masvidal's getting a bug to maybe do pro wrestling. You know what I mean? I think he'd be great. I think he'd be fucking amazing.
Okay, I know you're more into the MMA thing than me. The old guy. He looks Brazilian.
Oh, Junior Dos Santos. Yeah.
When he got on top of, I don't know, probably Jake Hager, it was funny because he started punching him. But then you see that he, like, one or two punches in, because I was, like, looking at it, he starts, like, pulling his punches back. Because I guess he got so excited, and these guys are fighters. They're used to fighting. So once you get on top of somebody, this guy's going to – so you just see Jake Hager, like, covering. And he's, like, he pounded him with two punches. I was like, "Oh crap! Somebody better tell him that."
It looked
hitting him with the forearm. And then it became bad because he pushed two back. You understand? It was going too hard, and then he pushed two back.
Right.
It looked bad.
I thought Jericho got caught with some legitimate shots. I was like, oh, I think they're catching him, and I think, like you said, they realize, oh shit, or. You gotta,
I guess you get pumped with the crowd and you get pumped with the situation.
Right.
These guys are fighters their whole life. And now they're in a situation, they're going at it with somebody and they don't, in their mind, they're gonna punch you. So it was funny because I saw Dos Santos like hitting him and he's like just covering and he's like on the floor, like kind of struggling. And then you see holding back the punches. And I was like, damn, okay. Buddy.
I love this. I loved it. I love the whole thing with Lambert. I'm an MMA fan, so I like this. I'm really into it. And, of course, my notes. We already spoke about no help for Jericho and Hager from Inner Circle. Made no sense. So I'm not going to rehash that. do me a favor and talk about this match. First, I will say, because I think you like this match, so I'm going to give you some time because I got to... I loved the Ortiz and Santana homage to the Warriors and the Baseball Furies and the Warriors, you know. I really like that, and I can't wait for a 2-pack of figures for these guys. That's going to be cool. So talk about this. Give me a second. I'll be right back.
No, the match, like, dude, when it ends up being like 4-on-4 and all that, you really don't expect much from it. But first of all, like, Santana Ortiz got a huge pop. They were like everybody, because I wonder if they're from Queens or not, but they got a huge pop, and then the Lucha Brothers, they also when they came in, everybody was into them. So it was pretty good. It was, to me, I think, even though it was the 4-on-4 gimmick, it was it felt like in the arena it flowed very well, the match, that it was exciting. It was a lot of movement. It was like crazy at times, but I guess that fits more the Santana Ortiz thing and then the Lucha Brothers. You already know that they're good wrestlers. They're good wrestlers, so
yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it fits the Lucha Brothers style. I don't know about Santana Ortiz because they're more, you know, they do high risk stuff, but they're also pretty grounded in their attacks as well.
Yeah, I'm just craziness of like the movement, like sometimes like what was going on. I felt sometimes it fits more like the Santana Ortiz style. Get it? Because they're more crazier than the Lucha Brothers. Right, so that's what, like, I don't
know. For me, it was like I just felt it was messy, just way too much. So I didn't really focus on it like I should have. So, you know, unfortunately, I didn't really have much to say about this match, but I did love the homage to the Warriors and the Baseball Furies that Santana Ortiz had. I know you said this was like your match for you. You know me and multi-mans. I just can't. I just felt like it was shit everywhere.
I wasn't. Sometimes I lower my expectations, and then surprised. And I think that was one of them, that my expectations were low, and then it actually surprised me because it was, to me, it was entertaining.
All right. So after this, did you see that Hardy had a promo?
With
yeah, it was a promo in the back with Jack Evans with him.
No.
So there was a promo with Jack Evans and Hardy in the back. Basically, Hardy, because Orange came out during this,
yes.
Right? Yes. So Orange came out. So in the back, Matt Hardy challenges Orange Cassidy to a hair versus hair match, but it's not his hair, it's Jack Evans' hair he's putting on the line. So it's going to be Evans versus Orange for a hair versus hair match.
Yeah.
We know Jack Evans is about to lose his hair, which is fine because he's got some ratty white trash hair anyway, that son of a bitch. He looks like...
Yeah, Orange got a...
He looks like when I let my hair go
Orange
too much.
Got a big pop too. Yeah. I guess people were not expecting them to... We're not expecting him to come out.
Uh-huh.
So yeah. So when he came out, people were surprised.
Where would you rank it, like in terms of pops? Was it middle or the end or the?
It was probably close to like what Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy got. Not crazy, like probably.
Not in the middle, more towards.
Yeah, more towards the end.
Yeah. I think Jungle Boy would have got a better pop if he was solo.
Yeah, I think the whole song and all that is a little look, after 4 hours of wrestling at that point, it's hard to keep the crowd like
100%
hyped up to.
engaged.
Yeah, so
right.
whenever anybody at that point would get a pop would surprise me, because like people were already like halfway through Rampage, people left. Like I had people in my row that they just grabbed and went home. So, yeah,
Really?
so it's like if you could keep anybody paying attention to what you're putting out there and actually cheering, I think that's pretty good.
I gotta be honest, I would have left halfway through Rampage too. It just wasn't a show for me.
It did cross my mind because I was like, oh, to beat traffic and all that.
Your boy, Jose, right? He wasn't letting you leave.
No, no. At the end of the show, we're walking by where the guys were leaving. Yeah, and he made me stay there with them. He's like, "Oh, let's stay to see." And I sent you a picture because I thought it was Ricky Starks. And because he was far away and it was dark, and he's like, "Oh, let's see who comes out. Let's see who comes out." And I'm like, "Dude, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, dude."
Yeah, I want to go to fuck home, man.
I still got to drive over an hour to get home, and this guy's like, "Oh, let's see who comes out. Let's see who comes out." So Cody came out. I took pictures with people. He's like, "Oh, come take a picture with him." I was like, "I'm not taking a picture with Cody. If it was Brandy, I would, but not Cody."
Yeah, dude. I mean, the way you tell me, he's a big fan, bro. Like, he travels to see and everything. So I mean, he went to All Out. I mean, in Chicago, and he's from Jersey.
And he's already telling me, "Oh, you want to go to Long Island?"
Right.
Tickets available. So, he was looking. He was looking at floor seats for, I think it was $200. Not bad.
Not bad.
Because like $200 floor seats. He's like, "You want to do it? You want to?" I said, "Dude, if I spend $200 on another ticket, my wife is gonna freaking make me sleep with the dogs."
Shout out to Jose, man. Shout out to Jose. What's up, bro? All right. So then after this, we had Sammy and Fuego. They come out with cue cards, and they get attacked by Miro from behind. The Inner Circle again seem to be fending for themselves at this point. Nobody helps. They get beat up. That's it. Moving on from that, you had the Andrade promo, and basically says he'll beat Pac again, and he doesn't need any help. So, building up to the rematch for that, and they wrote Chavo off. I'm sure people noticed by now because he is doing. Is he doing something with heels? Is it?
I haven't watched Heels.
I don't know. He's doing something with a TV show or filming something.
I thought they wrote him off to bring Flair in, but then.
Well, I thought they might have brought Flair in, but we know if that happens, it'll be a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forget they wrote him off for some television show, I believe that he's filming. I don't remember if it was Heels or something else. And shout out to Heels, man. That's a good show. Anybody listening who hasn't watched it, I'm really enjoying it right now. Okay, so I rewatched these last two matches today because I fell asleep at the beginning of the Anna Jay Penelope match. So Anna Jay versus Penelope. Did anybody else notice how fast Ty Conti came out to save Anna Jay? Anna Jay needs to take fucking notes. That's all I gotta say, because that's how a friend's supposed to come out to help their friend, not saunter down in their sweet time in heels to help their friend. She was
going to slip because then at one point that ramp, I guess it was getting condensation, and somebody slipped there. I don't know if it was in between a match or whatever.
Oh shit!
So so they were always wiping it down in between matches and commercials and all that. So I thought she came running, and she's not going to stop. I was like.
Imagine she just hit the ground and just slid off the side. How fucking funny would that be?
That was my thing in that match was, oh my God, like she's not going to be able to stop.
Yeah, that would have been fucking hilarious.
It would have been like Titus O'Neil running under the ring.
Oh, when he fell face for that video was going around for a while. That was funny. Yeah, but Anna, take note how you're supposed to help friends. Not pose at the top of the ramp and then slowly saunter down as your friend's getting beat up. Hit the fucking ring, Anna. At the end of this, HFO block off the ring as Penelope and the Bunny attack Anna and Anna and Ty. So then out comes Orange Cassidy, his music hits, and he's with Statlander, but they're still outnumbered. And then out comes the Dark Order. You get everybody but Uno and Grayson come out, and a couple seconds later, Grayson heads out of the tunnel and runs right for the ring. Doesn't wait and stop like posing like all these other guys. Boom, they hit the ring. Maybe this adds into something. Maybe this is where Anna kind of goes with Uno and Grayson or whatnot. But Uno follows him, and they both hit the ring. Boom, they brawl. They run off the heels. They don't even really brawl. They just kind of run off the heels because the heels realize now we're outnumbered. You know. So then they all get in a ring, and Reynolds offers his hand to Uno, and Uno basically walks away. So I thought this was kind of where they were going to kind of bring Dark Order back together until Uno walked away. So now I'm a little more curious where they're going with this. Is this going to be they just kind of split and like I said, maybe Anna goes with Grayson and Uno because they came down and were the ones initiated the rush to the thing to save them, or what? But it's a little interesting. Maybe they disband overall, and Uno and Grayson end up with, say, Bray Wyatt if he comes in and has his own little group.
That's what I heard a lot of people talk about when that match was going on. It was like they're saying that Bray is going to unite them all, like Brodie did.
Right, but I don't think they keep. Maybe this is a swerve, but they're saying nobody else is going to lead Dark Order.
Yeah, so I don't know.
And I wouldn't put Bray with them. I think at this point they're an act that.
Yeah.
They're an act that is not as serious. So I think Bray needs to come in with something good and serious and maybe a little sinister and dark.
Yeah.
So then we had Moxley and Kingston versus Archer and Suzuki. I didn't realize this was going to be a lights out match. They did the whole, once the lights go out and come back on, it'll be an unsanctioned match. I didn't realize it. I have to be honest with you. I was watching these last two matches just like an hour and a half ago, and I didn't give a flying fuck about this match. I didn't even pay attention. Homicide showed up. You didn't spoil that for me. He said a guy from Impact. I haven't seen in a while. Homicide got no love at first, but then eventually I guess people started to like chatter in the audience.
I guess people wanted to go home at that point.
Yeah, and it seemed like people were like, the people that knew it was Homicide were like, no, that's Homicide. No, that's Homicide. Then you started getting Homicide.
Because I was used to Homicide having that blue, and wasn't he the one with the blue and red suit that he would just point like the fingers to his head?
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of the. Wasn't he part of LAX from what I understand?
TNA, I don't know. That's what I thought about. Like I didn't know him without. If that's him, I didn't know him without the costume and all that.
Right.
So I didn't know who he was. I know King.
Oh, you're talking. He had a mask.
He had a full bodysuit at one point.
But no mask.
Or
right?
suicide? Was it suicide? Homicide? I'm probably getting the guys confused.
I think you might be confusing it too.
Yeah. I'm confusing them. But I know like Moxley and Kingston, they got a little pop. I guess Kingston is from Queens, so he took the mic at the end. But like a lot of people were into the Japanese guy, which like I know you're big into NJPW and all that, but I have no clue who he is. And Archer was on fire, which made me laugh because he came in, he just started beating the security guards.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, those security guards, they had wrestled on Dark. So my boy goes to all the shows over here in the area, and he was telling me all their names. He's like, "Oh, that guy, his gimmick is being an accountant. He's a wrestler, but he's an accountant." And the other guys, and then suddenly they're coming in, and they have the security shirts on. And he's like, "Oh, dude, those are the guys that just wrestled in Dark." And I was like, "Oh yeah." And Archer just starts beating him up, dude. But like, really, some of them I thought he hurt, and it was funny. Yeah. The moment he walked in, he just starts beating them up. I was like, "Why?"
Yeah, I was. there was a point in the match where he starts just piling guys up and he's beating them up. I'm like, why is he fucking beating up these guys? I get it. You're a badass. You're a tough guy. But then I realized he used it to be able to choke slam.
Yep.
What's his name?
I'm getting calls from work. I got to go, dude.
All right, brother. Thanks for hopping on.
No problem, man. Thank you.
I'll talk to you later. So, anyway, perfect timing because I'm about to end this. But yeah, so I really didn't focus on this match. It was just, I saw a lot of mess, and as much as I like Moxley and Kingston, I don't know. This isn't catching my interest, you know. So we'll leave it at that. I know everybody loves Suzuki, but I don't dislike him. He doesn't grab me like that. Again, I very sparingly watch wrestling over the last 20 years, you know. So yeah, and what I did watch was pretty pointed, you know. I watched some Omega matches, some Daniel Bryan matches, Bryan Danielson, occasional video here and there of Sting doing stuff in TNA and stuff like that. So, but anyway, that's going to end it for the show. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, hit the thumb. If you're on Facebook, please like and share. Everything we do is on uncensoredalliance.com. We're on Twitter, AEW Uncensored. Email us at aewuncensoredpodcast@gmail.com. Facebook, AEW Uncensored Podcast. Throw that in the search bar, and we have a page and a group. Like the page, join a group. They'll both pop up. You catch us on all third-party podcast applications, Google, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeart Radio as well, and, of course, iTunes. Please write us a review on iTunes. We'd appreciate it. And can we get the good reviewers, the people that actually like the show to review us, please, for once? And, of course, if you want to join the show live, you know, you want to have your input on what you thought about the matches for the week previous, send us a message on Skype, and we'll get you in the chat and get you coming on as soon as you have something to talk about. So, again, thank you, Alan. Hope everything's going well for you, brother. You know, I know you're having a rough time of it. I believe you'll be coming back east in a week or so, maybe the end of this week. And John, thanks for hitting the chat. Big Dub, thanks for checking in real quick. Eddie, thanks for joining and giving an insight from someone who was live at the show. And everybody listening, we appreciate you, and we will see you soon. All right? Peace.